let's crack straight into it. And I'm going to talk about these things right here because I think it's worth spending more time talking about it. And I kind of want your opinion on some of it. So real money transfers, and is it against TOS and page servers? Is it against the rules to buy rubles off websites, right? Like, I don't know if they can legally ban someone for that. And if they do, if they made it so scary that people were afraid to do it because they're afraid of getting banned, that's probably the biggest preventer of stopping cheating, stopping actually people cheating on the games. It's killing the suppliers. It's killing the clients before. Okay, this is kind of how it works, all right? So you'll have cheaters, and then they give the money to the RMT websites, and then the RMT websites give them to let's call them the players, right? The players, the buyer. So the easiest way to stop this bit is to either kill this bit or this bit, right? So either the game doesn't exist, because the players are the demand, and the cheaters are the supply, right? And these guys are just the fucking facilitators. So either there's no one playing the game or no one wants to buy it. That's pretty much how you kill the player base, right? So you either have to scare the players into being, hey, if we are too afraid of getting banned to buy it. That's one way, but you can't kill the supply because every time you take out the supply, they're just buying new accounts. It's impossible. They could ban these accounts within 24 hours and it doesn't matter. They've already made enough money to buy another account because the demand is so fucking high in this game. This bit here is actually incredibly high, right? They're higher than fucking most of the Netherlands. And these guys are really hard to take down, all right? So these guys are really hard to take down. The process in taking down a website is really long. And then once you take it down, they just rename it. Oh, we're no longer, buy tarkovmoneyhere.com. We're buy tarkovmoneyhere.com. Like, that's literally all they do. They just rename their company. Done. So this is the hardest one to stop. They either have to stop here or here. Blizzard gave up because they couldn't even counter it and now sell gold. Blizzard can't do it. How is EFT? Well, if EFT was to find a way to detect people selling it, like, I don't know how, but, like, I suppose this would be the way to do it, right? This is actually pretty fucked up. This would be how I would do it if I was Battlestate Games. I would be BSG account, buys money from RMT website, gets account name, tracks account name, and just tracks the next 100 or 200 accounts tracks the next 200 accounts that this person does a trade with, right? Then bans those 200 accounts that did it, right? It could be 1,000 accounts, right? And they ban those 1,000 accounts. Word spreads. Oh, I just got banned. I just got banned, and they're telling everyone, I just got banned for fucking, buying money, right? And then the fear begins.
Ban N.
The fear begins, right? And then people goes, oh, people really get banned for buying money? It's not entrapment. Who the fuck said it was entrapment? It's not entrapment. BSG's not selling the money to the idiots that are buying it. I actually feel like if they would have just banned 1,000 accounts that have bought money, the fucking shitstorm that would go through like Reddit and all these other places, and then they just leave it for like a month. They leave it for like a month, and then they do, let's do it again, right? And then they do another 1,000 accounts. And then you put the scare in the player base that they're like, I'm so afraid of getting my account banned because I bought a fucking $3, 30 million ruble package, whatever the fuck it costs. I got no idea what it costs. And they just do it like once a month. They just do it. I think this has more of an effect than they're trying to just ban the cheaters, because if you need to kill the demand. You got to kill the demand. You got to make it so people are too afraid to buy, or you've got to cut one of these three out. This one is impossible because they make too much money. This one is hard because they just rename their accounts. Like, rename their websites. EFTmoney.com gets changed to moneyeft.com. Like, and they just set up a whole new business. Isn't the barter only flea market going to restrict the cheaters as well? It'll restrict this process right here. This process right here is going to get slowed down, but it's not going to stop it. How do you recognize who bought something? Because what BSG does is, like I said, BSG has an account. They buy money from a real money transfer website, right? And then they get that account name and they track that account name. And then every time that account name goes into a raid and sells money to players or gives money to players, you track the players and then you ban the players and the account. Okay, that's the first thing. If buying money is against TOS they could actually go for the players that are actually buying the money and killing it that way. Topic over there. All right, we're gonna drop out this one because I don't want to get into that headache anymore. Next one, paid Sherpas. Is that against Toz? The chat can't even decide that. What is it? Should be, could be. What about if you go to a website and it says play with Pestily, $100 a game, and then you paid $100 and I'll play with you for an hour or a game. People already do that. Sub games. Is Pestily an ego now? I'm an e-boy, mate. There's a website. I can't remember the name of it. But you can actually go, I think it is no, not Grill, eGrill. They changed the name of it. See, Sherpas are done for free. E-Pal, that's it. I don't know. I think this is a very I don't know the legalities of this shit. But this is where, like, it's very fucking interesting to me. I just wish I could understand it better. Moving on. This is one of the biggest issues that Battlestate Games runs into, right? I'm not going to say his name, but an absolute plague of the Tarkov community would deliberately make YouTube videos and spread them like wildfire, saying Battlestate Games is willing to do nothing on these fucking on these exploits, right? And he goes, this is, but it wasn't actually speeding up the process. It was slowing down the process. And the amount of people that DM me some sort of random exploit that they found, or there's a YouTuber unlisted YouTube video for, and I just send them straight to Nikita because I don't give a fuck about him. But Nikita can get them fixed. And they get them fixed pretty quick. Usually within like a week, there's a patch out, a hotfix for it. But the problem is when they go full public with some of them, it's fucking brutal. It wasn't a rock tick, guys. This can actually really put massive detrimental like things on the game. Because what happens is like the jumping through the walls in our reserve and then going through the floor and getting max level strength. That's most of the reason why we all got fucking our strength wiped. Because it wasn't just one or two people, and Battlestate Games could just reset those specific people. It was the there was thousands of people that were doing it, though. And so, BSG goes the easy route because they don't want to spend time fucking, two people's whole days going through different accounts and resetting specifics. They just go, fuck it, we'll just wipe every single person's strength and endurance. Because they all exploited it. You know what I mean? If you find a bug that's, like, game-breaking, I don't want to get, like, smashed with DMs, but if you DM me, I'll send it to BSG. But you should also report it via the launcher. Alright? Like, I will directly send them to Nikita, but it has to be something pretty massive for me to like there was specific places on Shoreline you could fall through the floor. That was about a couple of months ago. And I got them sent to Nikita and they got fixed up pretty quick. But no one knew about them. The guy that discovered it sent it to me. You know, like, it's one of those things. There's a Discord server with there's 56 streamers in there with Battlestate Games, Human Manager, and Nikita, right? So there's about 50 fairly notably sized streamers that have the ability to DM Nikita or Dimitri, the community rep. And if you find a massive bug, pick a reputable streamer that you like, and just say, hey, can you forward this to Nikita? Pretty much, if they've been on a BSG podcast before, they're in that Discord. And do that, guys. Seriously, don't just make a YouTube video and make it public. That's what's gonna fuck everything up. Last one, development. This is actually one of those catch-22s. I touched on it in the YouTube video very briefly. But Battlestate Games is kind of in a shitty spot right now because the game grew so quickly that they've had to deal with server issues, like mass bugs, mass exploits, constant cheating and random shit that they're actual, and coronavirus as well, that they're actually slowed down the process of development because they can't actually focus on just making the game. This development cycle thing is actually really brutal, and it's kind of what kills all alpha games. This is actually the biggest issue with alpha games, this whole development process. So every game that's like an indie game, they go, hey, let's get some funding to make this game available. And Nikita touched on it in the podcast, right? Battlestate game. So Escape from Tarkov has grown too quickly, and this is going to be the biggest downfall for Escape from Tarkov. The next 6 months of Escape from Tarkov is going to either make and break the game, in my opinion. And the reason behind that is Battlestate Games wasn't prepared to have the game get as big as it did, as quickly as it did, because they're still working on the game. It's only a team of 100 people, right? And they're trying to do the best job they can. But when they're distracted by the fact that the servers are dying all the time, they've got issues and exploits and bugs and cheaters constantly fucking over the game, they're spending, like Nikita said, a third of their resources trying to stop that issue when they could be putting 95% of their resources in actually making the game. And that is the biggest issue with Escape from Tarkov right now. But hopefully they're going to get it under control very quickly. Isn't Escape from Tarkov a 7-year-old game? To my understanding, it's probably around the maybe 4 to 5 year mark. Nikita touched on it in the podcast, and it's the issue that a lot of games run into. Like Scum, I think, ran into it. I reckon Scum probably sold more copies in the first 2 weeks than it will ever sell. The game got super hyped. Mordau would probably be very similar. Very hyped, and then it will never regain. So I think Tarkov's better than the majority of games, but unfortunately, they have to constantly keep raising the bar of what they do. Otherwise, they're going to struggle. And the issue they're going to run into is the fact that most people are going to be burnt out on Escape from Tarkov before the game's released. It's a true fact. It's just going to happen. There's going to be people that right now, there would be thousands, if not tens of thousands of people right now said, fuck that game. I'm not playing Battlestate games as games anymore because of bugs, exploits, desync, cheaters, you know, and they'll never give it another go. Some might come back, some won't. But the fact that Tarkov grew as quickly as it did, they weren't expecting that, and it's actually a hindrance having that many people come to the game so quickly. I think what could work out in their favor better, I do it with my stream a lot. I invest money I make from my stream back into my stream. I did it a lot very early on. Like every single dollar I made from my stream in my first year, I put all back into the stream. New computers, better gear, you know, like giveaways. Doesn't matter what it is. Battlestate Games could do something similar. I don't know if this is the option, but like potentially, because they said they want to keep all the work in-house, they could technically just go, hey, let's get everyone and move them to another country. Because it's so hard to bring people into Russia to work. Let's move this whole development to insert country name, and we'll recruit everyone to come to that country, and we'll do the entire development from there. Like, they have enough money to do that. It wouldn't be cheap, but they could do that. And they could make the development team go from, you know, whatever it is now, 100 people to 1,000 people. The issue with that, though, is also more people doesn't always mean more productivity. When I was in the army, it's a perfect example. When you're in the army, like, they'll be like, all right, guys, we need to fill up this truck. You know, get all your gear on the truck. You'll have like 6 people working, and the other 94 people just sit there going like, fucking hurry up. This is shit. You know, so more people doesn't always mean better productivity. I'm not sure how easy it is to move your Russian corporation to a new location. Dude, I'm using an extreme example, but what I'm saying is they actually do have the money now to do pretty crazy out there ideas. It's just a matter of if they want to. It's a business. It's a risk versus reward system, right? They're going to have to go, how much are we willing to invest for the potential of how much profit, right? Because at the end of the day, it's a business, right? They could literally go, all right, we're going to develop just as we are now. In 3 years' time, whatever the game is, we're releasing it. And that's our cutoff date. And then we're going to move on to future products. You know what I mean? And people don't realize that these are things that businesses actually do. It's legit. Like, the other option is they sell the game. And I don't think that Nikita would ever do that. 9 women can't make a baby in 1 month. It's true. BSG is doing better than AAA companies. And to be fair, despite all this. Guys, I'm not trying to rag on Battlestate Games. I'm just trying to talk real. Like, I'm trying to be legit. Like, these are the issues that Battlestate Games would be sitting down at the table. Like, when Nikita sits down with his boss, the investors, because that's who his boss would be, and they would be, this is how it is. This is where we see the product going. This is where our investment will be. And this will be our return. Because they can't be like... You get the point, right, guys? Like, I love this game. They're very passionate about the game, and they do an amazing job of it. But there's going to be a point where they've got to be like, hey, this is how much we can risk. This is how much we can and do. How about less talk, more play? How about you never come back? Will the game ever be released on console? No, this game will never be on console. I'm still slightly confused on how the new market is going to work and in-raid items. Any item you see in the game at the moment that has a little tick next to it that say found in raid, that's it. I think their main downfall is the size of the game. Like, legit, this game is huge compared to AAA titles. It's a great thing, but I'm sure it goes against the guys working hard at this shit. They don't stop working. Like, they work weekends, they non-stop. I'm gonna be completely honest. I would not want to work for Battlestate Games. Like, if they were like, you could be a coder and you can work for Battlestate Games, I would be like, fuck that. They work every day. They get paid fuck all. Like, they probably get paid good for Russian pay, but it wouldn't be like how much they could make in America for coding or in Europe. in the rest of Europe, I should say. Mr. Nonya business. This goes back into that circle, right? So you want to make a game. You want to make a game, but you don't have enough money to employ the people to make it. What do? You look for investors, right? Investors go, here's $1 million, make a game. And you go, okay, we've paid for 10 people we'll pay for 20 people for a year. You get 1 year's work done. You go, this is how much we've got. And we go, all right, we need more money from investors, right? Investors go, we're not giving you more money. What do? You make your game public, right? So you have a limited access to, and try and get more investors in that, right? We're the investors. You and I playing this game are the investors. So we buy into this game as a tester, a beta tester. This is where it gets fucked, right, guys? This is where it gets fucked. Because then Battlestate Games goes, okay, now we have $10 million. We can pay for the game for a couple more years. And they look for other investors and they keep making their game. And then all of a sudden they go, oh, let's do this cool drops event, right? They go, let's do this cool drops event. We'll do it 2 days before New Year's and we'll see how we go. Bam, drops event happens. They sell 1 million copies or maybe more. It could potentially be 2-3 million copies. And then they're like, holy fuck, we just made $120 million. Investors go, payday. Right? And then they're like, okay, we can make this game now. We can afford to pay our 100 staff because they've increased it up to 100 staff. They go, we can afford to make this game for 5 more years before we feel like we're not going to get any more money back. Right? Or any more good return on investment. And each year's going to start making a loss. And then they go, okay, so what can we do in 3 years? Like, this is a business at the end of the day. It's a fucking epic game, but it's going to be some point, and I hate to talk about it like that, but it's going to be some point where it's just going to be like, they're going to go, all right, this is the end of the product. And that all the DLCs will come by. Path of Exile keeps going. They got microtransactions. Path of Exile makes fuckloads every single season. Every time they go, oh, we've got a new tab for the, I don't know, insert new mechanic in game. You know, I've probably spent $300 on Path of Exile on a game that would normally cost you like $80. Had BSG ever considered the game transactions? They've already said no. They said they're never going to do microtransactions. They're going to do DLCs. So that's where buying Edge of Darkness now will hopefully save you money in the future. Because when they start releasing the DLCs, to my understanding, I really want to show you this because this will make me fun. This will make me laugh a little bit. Aha! Limited edition. Unlimited edition. So eventually, Edge of Darkness will stop. And the main reason why it's going to be a limited edition, free access to all subsequent. Aha! Free access to all subsequent DLCs. All right, me speak good English. So eventually they'll go, no more. Eventually they'll go, what do you call it? No more EOD. This will get taken away. You won't be able to buy EOD anymore. I believe they'll make another edition. This would be my understanding. They would make another edition similar to Edge of Darkness, but it won't have this part. So you'll be able to get the Gamma container, right? You'll get access to the Gamma container, but you won't get this. Sorry, you won't get this. That's what I reckon will happen. By takeaway, I mean you won't be able to purchase it anymore. So will Edge of Darkness give us access to all subsequent microwaves? Subsequent microwaves, yes. So my theory will be they'll make a new edition. It'll be like somewhere. It'll be called something like, I don't know, Cool Kids Edition, and you'll get everything here, and you won't get this one. And then you'll have to buy the DLCs from that point onwards. And that's where I think what will happen. And that's how they'll keep funding the game. And so who knows how much these will cost? They've said they've got 7 planned so far. And I think I know the names of 4 of them. Well, not the names. I know what's in 4 of them. They've got Skyscrapers, which is going to be expansion to Streets of Tarkov. They've got the snow map one. So they're going to be, I think most of the maps, there'll be snow. It'll be Scav Life, which will be, you can go apparently as a Scav boss, but you also get extra stuff for being a Scav. And what was the 4th one? They did touch on it somewhere. There's another DLC they've spoken about. It's in one of my podcast videos. Arena's not a DLC. Arena's going to be part of the storyline. Cultists is not a DLC. Lighthouse is not a DLC. Can't remember. But yeah, that's where I see it all happening. So that's how they're going to fund the game in the future. But once the DLCs don't make money, or isn't covering the cost of development / servers, because you got to remember they're also going to pay BattlEye, servers, and staff now. So I don't know how much that costs, but that's a lot. 100 staff. I don't know what the average wage would be in Russia, but 100 staff from Russia, 170 odd servers or whatever the fuck they've got. And then Battle I think Battle is not cheap either. I think Battle is like 100 grand a year, 1.4 million a year for servers. They're probably their costs are probably somewhere, you know. Obviously they're still renting that. Don't forget royalties to Unity. I think that goes the other way. Vitters. Unity's working with Battlestate Games. I think they would have a deal. There's no way Battlestate Games are not in cahoots with Unity, because if they're working together, if I was Battlestate Games, I'd be like, all right, you want to showcase Battlestate Games as Escape from Tarkov as your flagship game for Unity, and why people should be using Unity for the games in the future, then you pay us. There'd have to be some royalties going the other way. There is no game on Unity that comes close to Escape from Tarkov that I know of. Battle is a profit percentage contract. How do you know that? You know, see, if anything, guys, and this is the other fucked up thing, Rust. You reckon Rust looks better than Escape from Tarkov? But Rust is huge. It's a big game. What was I going to say? It was Rust has got no stutters. I watched Sequisha play Rust and it had stutters. Don't lie to me, chat. I hate it when you lie to me. I think it would benefit, and if they added weapon skins you could buy. No. Oh, that's what I was going to talk about. Employing Battle to ban accounts. This is a fucked up thing, and I'm almost hesitant to talk about it because I think I don't want to say like there is no evidence that this is happening, and there is no evidence that Battlestate Games would ever do this. But the fact that real money transfer websites exist and people are buying currency from real money transfer websites is, and then Battle picks up the cheating accounts that fund these the websites. The websites fund the cheaters. The cheaters buy new accounts. I said that really weirdly, but the short of it is the fact that there's so many accounts getting banned for cheating. Each of those accounts get bought usually by a stolen credit card, and Battlestate Games are making money for every stolen account. So if Battlestate Games ban, I think they said the last was what, 15,000 in a month, or was it 50,000? 50. That's quick math. 50 times 40, make it $2 million a month just on stolen accounts. Is that right? 50,000 times $40. $2 million a month on stolen accounts. On cheating accounts, sorry. Chargebacks. But even if the chargebacks were $500,000 on the stolen credit cards, they're still making $1.5 million a month. No. They said more than 1,500, dude. It was either 15,000 or 50,000. Yeah, I think it was 1,500 to 2,000 a day. 50,000 in March. So, like, when you look at it like that, they actually have profit to make by allowing people to cheat, as long as it doesn't kill the game. What happens when the bank get their money back after claims? Because she has to refund the money, correct? Oh, dude, I don't know. I'm a gamer. But like I'm saying, like, if all the accounts weren't, like, if they're not all done on stolen credit cards, because the real money transfer websites are actually making money, right? So, say they would make fuckloads. Honestly, those real money transfer websites would be making $1 million a month. Guys, and I want to be completely honest here. I don't look down on people that have bought from these websites. All right? I don't look down on people that have bought money from these websites because of this one reason. If you are working a fucking shitty job that pays well and you have no time to play the game, and all you want to do is check out some of the cool gear and buy some good items and have some fun, you know, I get it. I totally get it. You know, like, you might get paid $40 an hour in your job and you work 40 to 60 hour weeks and you've got a wife and kids and you get 3 hours to play the game. You're never going to get to play and use an M4 and all the, you know, the good items in the game. Right? But you've got, you know, a couple of $1,000s a week coming in, and you could easily go to a website and pay $50 and you get yourself 100 million rubles, and then you don't have to worry about it. Like, I'm not saying it's right, but I can understand it. I can totally understand it. I don't think they're bad people. I don't think that, you know, they don't understand the damages they're doing. I respectfully disagree. That's fine. I don't want people to do it. Don't get me wrong. I don't think it's a good thing to do, and I don't think you should be doing it, guys. But, and it does have repercussions that actually is kind of brutal. In all seriousness, time is, like, this is why when I talk to you guys, I say the most valuable thing you guys can give me is your time. And I'm being serious about that. Like, there 8,800 people in the chat talking right now with me, and you guys are spending your time hanging out here talking with me. And That's really cool of you guys to do that. And I'll never take it for granted. Stop giving these people power. Do I need to cut them down a little bit, do I? What if BSG sell rubles for money? They don't want to do microtransactions, and I totally get that. It also puts... The issue with BSG selling money, guys, is it also puts a cash injection into the economy constantly as well. So, even if they... I know they don't want to do microtransactions, but if they were to put... If you were like, oh, you could pay $100 for 100 million rubles, then day one of the wipe, what's going to happen? Someone's going to go, I want 100 million rubles. Bam. There's already 100 million instantly, bam, like that into someone's pocket. And it also was pay to win. But you get the point. Battlestate games don't want to do that. I've bought on the EA store, NBA 2K20 or whatever it is. Legitimately, like, I got the game, and the first thing I did was I spent $20 on, like, points to level up my character on the EA store. First thing I did. The game is pay to win. It is. And I get it. Because I didn't want to sit there for fucking 400 hours just to get the same amount of points. Because that's honestly what it would have taken. How long do you expect Tarkov to last for with all that's going on? I think this game will be good for at least another 3 years. I think there's going to be a point where the player base will start dwindling quite quickly. But the thing is, it's like a drug. This game is so much like a drug. Players will come and go. It's kind of like Path of Exile. Like, I still play Path of Exile all the time. You'll go away. You'll be like, I'm going to sit out. And this is why Battlestate games... I can't believe I'm ranting for so long. This is why Battlestate games should actually do scheduled wipes. Right? Battlestate games should go, we're going to wipe. The next wipe will be on, say in a week's time. And then after that, it should be 4 months. They should be like, in 4 months' time, whatever stable patch we have, we're wiping. And the one major reason for this is... what do you call it when players retainability? Retaining the player base. So what happens is someone goes, all right, this one's 4 months. I'm not going to play for 4 months. Retention, that's the word, player retention. So people go, for 4 months, I'm going to go play other games, and in 4 months' time, I'm going to come back for the next wipe. And I do it with Path of Exile all the time. There's like, all right, next league of Path of Exile doesn't sound like it's for me. I'm going to skip that league. I'll come back in 3 months' time. Because I know the next Path of Exile league is in 3 months' time. And they could use those 4 month periods as like testing phases to test different like mechanics within the game. They could change different things within the flea market or the economy. There's so many things they could do. Wipe should be longer than 4 months though, to give the slower players time to end game status. See, that's another thing, Macho, is they could actually mix it up. So for example, this next wipe, they could say passive skills are going to be 300% faster to level. Right? And they check it out. And they go after 3 months, or 4 months, they go, it was a little bit too quick. We could just dial it down just a touch. And they can try and find that good balance for the casual player and also the hardcore player. Because you don't want to make it, if in 4 months' time there's players that are like going nuts, and a large portion of the player base is like super pimped out with everything, passives wise, then it's too far. And they could find that balance. And they could use so much data from that period. I severely disagree. If they can't make the game good without wipes, it doesn't deserve to be played. That's true when the game's complete. Sackle. The problem is right now, Battlestate Games doesn't have a completed game. It doesn't have an end game. And it doesn't have the capability yet to do DLCs. When they can do all three of those things, then you're right. It won't need more wipes. But at the moment, there's no end game, so there's nothing to actually do at the end. You kind of just play because you like the game. There's no events. There's no reasons to keep playing, and the DLCs aren't coming yet. You know what I mean? So the game needs to be complete for that to be a true statement. But it is true. I'm not saying you're wrong. It's just it needs time. But up until then, the game definitely needs wipe for two reasons. To reset the economy, because it just gets way too inflated. There's not enough money sinks in the game, end game wise. Because World of Warcraft does it. They have things to make you blow cash like crazy eventually. And then the economy needs to be reset, and the player base needs to be reset because there's nothing else to do. It's why Path of Exile has got a really solid end game. But if everyone was all at max level, what else would you do in Path of Exile? You know what I mean? And that's why the seasons in Path of Exile work really well. They're going to do a PvP sort of things for... what's his name? Alright guys, I've been ranting for ages. This has probably been my biggest rant ever. I don't even know how long ago I started it, but it's been a big rant. I feel like Devin Nash. Your ranting is what I like to watch. Your convo with Devin was great. It was fun talking to him. I think him and I could actually have a really good conversation, like a long conversation, where we just, I don't know, we'd start off talking about gaming, and next minute we'd be talking about how the politics of something from some other country that we've never even heard about doesn't make any fucking sense. And I don't know, it just go into some weird tangent about some random shit about, I don't know, echidnas, you know, hijacking Australia's like flora and fauna or some shit. So guys, thanks for watching another video. If you liked it, give it a thumbs up, subscribe for future content. I do stream on Twitch every day of the week, so go down the link below, give me a follow over there. You got any Tarkov questions, feel free to hit me on my live stream or down in the comments below. And lastly, I'll see you next time.